is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Back, we're ready. Omar Kelly is ready to join us here to talk a little Miami Dolphins football and talk a little Brian Flores. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly as he fixes his hair. Your hair always looks good, dude. You got the dreads, bro.
Yeah, but there's like strays. I need to get them redone, and there's strays hanging everywhere.
Right.
Plus, this light is just a little bit weird. But anyway, I got like a halo going on here. It's kind of weird.
It looks good, bro. Give me a break.
All right.
You're fine, bro. You're fine. All right. So, yes, we watched that teaser clip that you guys put out with Brian Flores, and we're all collectively saying you were ready to bust out laughing when he said that Tua and him had a fine relationship and that it wasn't strained and all that. Your face was... You really want to laugh and say, get the hell out of here. So the question we all want to know is, did you buy the bullshit?
I didn't. You know what? Everybody's reality is based on their point of positioning. You understand what I'm saying?
And by the way, that's exactly what Joe Shad said earlier. He thought that, his view of what his relationship was with you might be completely different than the way you view it. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As I have said, even before he got hired, and continue to say about Bill Belichick proteges, their struggles dealing with people and having interpersonal relationships is unilateral across the board, problematic.
Remember what I told you? I told you it's because he keeps them all in a room the entire time, and the first time they get that exposure is when they get a job. Boom.
And Josh McDaniel admitted that my failures were part because I didn't know how to deal or talk to people. And I think Flores has the same issue. I've never been shy about saying that. I think I don't think he has the full accurate portrayal of what his issues are. Not yet.
He lacks awareness, is what you're saying.
I think they all lack awareness. I mean, I'm sure Gates still lacks awareness. Yeah, because partly, he got hired. He was out of work for like 10 days and got hired right back and never learned anything from his past firings or experiences. It was all their fault, and then he failed again. They all lack awareness. I give respect to Josh McDaniel because it took him a decade before.
Wait a minute. He talked it. Now let's see if he walks it.
That's true. That's true.
So that's two things.
Very good point.
It's two things. So, but hey, listen. Part of addressing any problem in life is first addressing that you have it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
At least he's man enough to say, hey, dude, I was immature, which is what Matt Patricia was, which is what Brian Flores was. And that's because Belichick doesn't allow you to really...
I don't know if Brian Flores was immature. I wouldn't say any of his...
Not immature, but not prepared for that job of dealing.
I just think dealing with that he probably, because I don't, we talked about this. He never tried to do the Patriots way. He never tried to be Bill Belichick. He was himself, and I would agree with that. The things that were problematic were how he dealt with people, how he talked to people, the passive aggressiveness, and I think that those are things that are at the core of who he is. And I'm not necessarily certain that he sees them as a problem because his point was, I coach people hard, and I held people accountable. And generally, if you had a problem with that, it's because you didn't like being held accountable or you didn't like being coached hard. And I think that there's some truth and validity to that. The heated exchange between him and Tua came after the Tennessee game, which Tua played horribly in. So is a coach not supposed to check a player for playing poorly in these elements and these conditions? And that leads to things that I've heard and things that I cannot verify at this present moment, that Tua doesn't necessarily like to be coached hard. Now, you would think that a guy who comes from Nick Saban.
Come on, dude. Yeah.
Listen, all I'm saying to you is what I have heard.
I know that's a bunch of crap, dude. That's
let me finish what I'm saying.
Bunch of crap.
This is a different generation of player.
I agree.
And this different generation of player feels like they need to be coddled, and quarterbacks more than all. So
can I do something dangerous?
When have I ever stopped you before?
I'm gonna stereotype.
You okay, ready? Go for it.
Those Samoans, those Polynesians.
Yes.
I've never seen any of them be soft.
Oh, no. They have the stereotype is that they have a very passive, easy-going, carefree, laissez-faire. And I don't know.
No, they are hardcore. They're blue collar. They work incredibly hard.
Nobody is questioning how hard.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Haitian people are kind of the same way. They're incredibly passive to at times. They are very family.
I'm married to a Haitian woman. You was alive.
And Haitian people are hardworking people in general. I'm saying, in general, I worked with a lot of them at WLQY and WKAT for 2 years.
I'm not saying a single word on that subject because I don't.
You don't think Haitian people in general are hardworking people, man, and
I think
family oriented and stuff.
I think making blanket statements like that are dangerous. Like I can tell you experiences that I've had.
I just told you I was going to make a dangerous statement, dude.
Yeah, no. And I don't think it's accurate. I don't think it's accurate at all.
Okay, but at least the Polynesians that I've run into in the football sense, those are all tough some bitches, dude.
Yeah, but you know what? The complaint about Marcus Mariota is the same complaint that's about Marcus Mariota is the same complaint that I'm hearing about Tua.
Marcus Mariota is just injury prone as hell. That's his problem, and he's never been accurate. That's his other problem. That's a major problem, and that was a problem from Oregon that he wasn't accurate. He's not an accurate quarterback, dude.
Listen, I don't know, and we're now going to be on our second coaching staff with Tua. We're going to figure out within the next 2 years whether Tua is or he isn't a franchise quarterback. So ultimately, but getting to the root of whether or not they had a problem, he pointed out and said, I coach Tua hard, and a lot of times that includes him challenging him, and he challenged me as well.
Yeah, hey, why don't you handle me with a little more respect and stop being an idiot? Yeah, so that's probably it. Yeah, I hate you. I want Watson. I never wanted to draft you. Yeah, I coach him hard.
I don't know what it, and here's the thing about the statement that he made, and which is where I felt a little bit uncomfortable about the ask Tua. Tua is never, ever.
And he knows that. And he knows that.
Yeah, exactly. You know that. So Tua's going to take the high road. Now, Tua, during the press conferences last year, dropped a ton of hints that Brian Flores' style was a little gruff, a little aggressive, and straight shooter, doesn't always tell you things that you want to hear. And after the Tennessee game, if you replay that interview that he had after the Tennessee game, Tua was basically like, F it. Like, I'm going to say what I got to say because, my coach ain't even got my back.
No, of course not. So, when Duke Johnson has 7 rushes for 49 yards, and you don't want to give him the ball anymore, just to see if maybe 15 turn into 100.
We're not going to entertain this. It was put into his hands. I'm sure Tua would have wanted it put in his hand. We're not going to entertain this conversation. We're not.
It was raining. It was raining. You got to run the ball in that situation.
We've done this way too many times. Let's move on. I've sat there and looked at the playbook and pointed out to you there was no opportunity to run. You refused to acknowledge that.
He got 7 for 49. What are you talking about?
There was no opportunity to run in the second half. Let's move on from that.
Gotta try, bro. Try. Damn, you just can't give up on it. You know what I'm saying? But he loves Tua. So,
Next,
by the way,
he did not say he loves Tua.
What more? No, I'm just saying. I'm just having fun. So, what other nugget can you give us from that interview that we haven't seen yet? That why we want to see it? What else there? Give us a little teaser on something else there that might have had you almost laughing in his face because you were close to busting out, bro. You were close to busting out. You were.
No, that wasn't.
I don't know if you're trying to make some inroads with Flo. You know,
no, come on,
he gonna let you in. He gonna let you in, Omar. I just want you to know that.
No, you know me. That ain't how. If I wasn't gonna be there, and I was there to ask the tough questions. That was. It wasn't gonna be no patty cakes. We're not gonna play tiddlywinks. Like you gonna answer some questions. The one thing I think that tanking was never discussed during his interview process. The organization's philosophy, approach, thought process about tanking strategy was never discussed, and he would not have never agreed to it, according to him. Then I asked him about, okay, well, what about all the tank moves that you guys made, trading away players, claiming guys on Tuesday, starting him on Sunday?
Oh, he went quiet there. Oh, he's getting a call. Wait a minute. Hold on. You're gonna call. You're gonna call. You're gonna call. You're gonna call. Call. There we go. Now he went. Blank. Now he's back. Let's see. Okay. Do we have him? No audio. No audio. No audio. No audio. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can hear you. No. No. Hear you. No. Hear. No. There we go. Now he's trying to figure it out. There we go. He dropped now. Oh, there. Oh, he go. He go. He go. It was Flo sabotaging. That's what it was. Flo called Omar and he wanted to interrupt it. And he wanted to sabotage it. He's probably got a Russian right next to him trying to hack Omar's phone right now, like they're hacking the Ukraine and stuff. That's what's going on. All right, Omar. So, what happened there on the tanking thing? Because you completely went out.
What I was saying to you is, what was I saying? On the tanking, his thought process, he was never agreed to it, never was discussed in the hiring process.
Right.
Totally disrespectful to the game. Mm-hmm. And then when I asked him about, well, what happened to all the tank things that what about all the tank things that you guys did? Trading Laramie, trading Minka, trading Kenny Stills, trading Kiko Alonso, because subsequently you traded 4 of your top 10 players.
Yes.
Then you claimed guys on Tuesday, started them in games on Sunday. Like that's not a non-tank approach. And he was like, oh, I looked at them as challenges. And I was just like, okay, all right, cool, whatever. This is your reality. And
I looked at them as challenges. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he won games, so everybody celebrated his 5 wins except for me. And and we're like, oh, he should be coach of the year candidate. You too, guilty. You own it. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. You're supposed to be losing games.
Brian Flores, we're going to trade away all your players. You're not going to have anybody should you decide to accept this challenge. It's up to you, sir. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds, and that's it. It was kind of a mission impossible for him. That's what it was at that moment. That was the challenge.
And according to him, he never signed up for that. And putting him in that situation is part of the lawsuit. Whereas,
did you guys ask him specifically, like, because he's not going to tell you, but you say, do you have tangible proof that Stephen Ross offered you money to lose?
We did not ask that question. So just so you know that we did not ask that question. That specific question we did not ask. But I think it's been covered.
Well, he says he does. Suppose little birdies are talking, saying there's no tangible proof actually, but we'll see if that's the.
I don't.
You know what's the most amazing part about all of this that I talked about?
What's that?
No coaches have joined his lawsuit. None.
No. This is not the part, and he addressed that. This is not the part of the process where coaches are supposed to join the lawsuit. So, first it has to be acknowledged.
I've been told they approached coaches.
Who approached coach? No. They've discussed and mentioned. They've discussed and talked to a number of coaches in the coach.
They reached out to coaches.
It's not the part. It's not the part of the process where people join. First, it has to be first, and which is what
isn't that a spin job, Omar?
No. It's not. I know from a legal standpoint, it's not part of the process. First, they have to. They're fighting to keep it out of arbitration and to have this be addressed in the court of public opinion. And there's a number of things that stand in their way of this, which is why it's a legal it's a battle of PR and images and spin right now.
Well, I think if I'm correct, it's the collective bargaining agreement that stands in front of him, correct?
No, it's not the collective bargaining agreement. It's the contracts that he signed, and also
because they're all arbitration eligible, right? That's what I mean.
Yes, but he did not sign when he got fired. This is one thing that he said.
Not players union, right? That's what it is. Coaches.
What?
Coaches union, not players union.
There is no coaches union. There is no coaches union.
Oh, then what is it?
No, it's the contracts that he signed and the contracts that are standard for all coaches. Everything has to go to arbitration, but he would have to have signed his release to receive his money. And he never did that, never would do that. Still is, and the Dolphins don't have to pay him, which even though all the contract was guaranteed. So this is going to be a legal fight no matter what. Like they owe him money. He wouldn't sign. Owe him money based on a contract. He wouldn't sign a release saying that I'll get my money if I don't say negative things about the organization. He was like, screw that, didn't sign it, and here we are. And what will come of it, I have no idea. And I don't know if we might be years before we figure out. But I think the important thing is this whole thing is about pulling back the curtain and creating change. And I do believe that he is fully committed to that. And this isn't about money to him. This isn't about, his reputation. I think he understands and said it. I knew I'd probably never coach in the NFL again. Yeah, not that he doesn't deserve to, but you can't call somebody out for the screwed up things that they're doing, sue them, embarrass them, and then expect them to employ you.
Of course not. It's over. You can't do that.
I mean, 5 years from now, maybe you can, but immediately, no, not really. I mean, this isn't like Colin Kaepernick where, people will say your skills have deteriorated. He's a coach. And I think arguably, outside of Doug Peterson, who has been hired that has a better resume and reputation, well, not reputation, but better resume than him. And that's a fair statement. That's a fair, 9 coaches have been hired. Doug Peterson's the only one who has a better resume than him. Lovie Smith arguably depends on, Lovie Smith. This is his third.
It's just it's tenure. Yeah, he's just got more tenure than him. That's it.
Yeah, and I mean, he won. Flores won when he wasn't supposed to win. And this is not opinion. This is fact. And his teams generally, except for last year, overachieved. But then he won 8 of 9 games after starting 1-7. That's a major accomplishment. Only one person's ever done it in the NFL. So, we got to put some respect on that.
Did you guys ask him about his attorneys?
No. Why would we ask him about his attorneys?
Because you're battling a racial issue and everyone's white that's defending you.
That's not true or accurate. And the lawyer that was there was black. And
so they switched it up now. Okay.
No, they don't switch it up. No,
they didn't have anybody. They didn't have anybody of color in their entire website.
Listen, this is where I don't want to get into none of that. I don't care about none of that. That's not important for me.
It's an interesting twist.
No, it's not really. That he went to high school with the lawyer that he.
I know. He hired his friends. I get it.
And
you got to hire the best lawyers, not your friends.
No, you got to hire people you trust, people you believe in, who are gonna. And I totally, fully believe.
If you hire the best lawyers, you can trust those lawyers.
No, not necessarily. I totally, fully believe that you hire people you trust. You hire people who you know have your back. And apparently, this lawyer that he went with, he grew up with, went to high school with. He believes that he is going to look out for his best interests, and this is something that, he fought. He said it. I couldn't live with myself if I didn't do this, and I totally believe him and totally understand where he's coming from, and totally know that he's 100% being genuine in his efforts and desires, because what he's faced and what others have faced in the NFL is 1,000%.
Oh no, yeah. That the racial part of it, there's an enormous problem in the
it's prejudice.
Yeah, but he has almost no shot at proving that part. It's all about pay to lose. Really,
if you read his lawsuit, all 58 pages, it's stating a case for why the NFL is prejudiced and racist, and it is. I'm
not.
So how do you say that he has no shot and no case at that?
In his case, because he has to prove that it happened in his case.
So you're telling me that he didn't participate in sham interviews, or that he didn't get hired to tank?
Dude, every black coach deals in sham interviews.
Which is what the lawsuit's about. So how do you
I understand that, Omar, but you then have to prove that the Giants were a sham. And that's not going to be proven. And you're going to have to be proven that the Broncos was a sham. And it's not going to be proven. And then it looks like a joke when you add Houston after Houston then hires Lovey. And that's terrible on his part. They didn't have to add Houston. And by the way, when it comes to that lawsuit, Miami has nothing to do with that lawsuit, because they don't have that issue at all. Not even close.
I think that a court of law, I would love to see a court of law. I would love to see more than a court of law. I would love to see a congressional hearing, because if you really look at this issue, the NFL receives a ton of tax benefits and credits from our government, exemptions from our government. This is a governmental issue too, as well. And congressional hearings would force them to, on the record, address these issues.
Yeah. But in the end, they're not going to be able to prove anything. That's the thing. It's a matter of proving beyond a shadow of a doubt in his case that it happened. And that's going to be the issue. In his case,
neither one of us have law degrees.
Because
this is way beyond our scope of expertise.
But I've already talked to lawyers.
And so have I. And lawyers are giving you their opinion.
And they laughed at it.
Lawyers are giving you their opinions, not necessarily the fact. They laughed at it because this has to go to arbitration. Doesn't mean.
No. They laughed at it because they told me it's going to be almost impossible for him to prove anything on the race side. Okay? And look, example, the Giants, we all knew that Dable was going to get hired once they hired Schoen or Sohn or Scone or whatever the guy's name is.
Adam Shane. Yes.
Shane, whatever. Once we knew that they hired Shane and he was leaving Mad Dog Radio to go there, then we knew that Brian Dable was going to get
leaving Mad Dog Radio.
It's Adam Shine. Forget it. That went over your head. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry. It's a pop culture thing. It's a radio thing. Don't worry about it. It's all good. No, seriously. So we kind of knew that was going on.
Yeah.
And the Bronco thing, like, you're going to call them drunks and you don't really know if they were really drunk. You're not going to be able to prove that either, that they had already made a decision and they didn't hire you. And in Miami, that's not the case. And in Houston, they went and hired a minority. Because, of course, they're not going to hire you, dude. Who the hell nobody's going to hire you anymore once you got the lawsuit going on at that point. I mean, all of this is going to be hard. And that's what the lawyers told me. I'm going off of what a professional told me.
Okay,
And they told me it's all about pay for lose. That's where he can
their
bring
expertise is limited to their scope of what law, and I'm
they're criminal. They're criminal defense lawyers.
Okay, this ain't a criminal case, so yes,
But they know they handle civil too, my brother.
that this is
They know
not a civil case. This is a case about
They know law. They know law. I didn't talk to a divorce lawyer. Okay. Right?
Listen. All I'm saying is, and I've heard the exact same things that you've heard. A court of law can do what they want to do, and it depends on the judge.
I know what you're saying, that anything can happen in a court of law. I understand that.
And if they feel that this is, I think Flores's main agenda is that this doesn't happen behind closed doors. Let's investigate this. Let's look into this with a microscope, exposing all what transpired. And I'm in support of that. And the reason I'm in support of that, because the NFL, and he said something very interesting. The NFL has an issue. He said something very interesting, which I had never thought about. If the league, which the general manager, or not the general manager, the commissioner came out and said, we have an issue. Last week at the Super Bowl, commissioner said, we have an issue. There's nothing we've talked about for the last 5-6 years more than this issue and how to address this issue and to fix this issue. And we altered the Rooney Rule with the intention that it fixes this issue and it makes the issue worse. If you acknowledge that there is a problem and all 32 owners, you say, okay, there's a problem, but all the 32 owners are saying, well, it's not me. I'm not prejudiced. I'm not racist. It's not me. I'm not the problem. And all 32 of them say that. How is the problem going to be fixed?
Oh no, it's impossible practically to fix it, because you can't force people to hire what you want. They're going to hire whoever the hell they want. And 32 billionaires are going to do whatever they want, and they're not going to be controlled by the government, by the media, by anybody else. So in the end, that's why I'm telling you, this is a big ass ridiculous lawsuit, and the only way that they will gain leverage on the race side is if they have proof on the pay to lose side.
That's
on the race side,
they're
not going to be able to prove anything. That's the thing. No one's going to come forward on any team, Omar, and say, yeah, no, we don't hire Hispanics and blacks and Asians. It's just not our thing. They're not going to say anything like that. They're not going to admit that. They're not going to admit to any sham interviews. They're going to say they take everyone serious.
But are they happening?
No, Omar, I'm not denying that there's an issue.
Okay. So if there's an issue and you acknowledge that there's an issue, then how do we fix the issue? And I think that's what, he's made recommendations, and it's included in the lawsuit that there should be an oversight committee, and he talked about it a little bit. And
you're going to put people, and they're going to tell 32 billionaires 32 old white billionaires what to do.
31,
30,
29, because there are 2 women owners.
Oh yeah, Ford.
And Green Bay.
Mrs. Ford and
one Green Bay is not owned by an individual. 2, there are 2 women owners.
28 of the teams.
Yes.
You think you're going to get an oversight committee placed over 28 billionaires?
If you can't trust, yes. I don't know. I don't think it's
Omar. They own the business. Omar, they own the business.
I understand that. They own the business, but you're an entity that works collectively. And if you acknowledge that there's a problem, what he was saying, and I didn't initially think it was a good idea. I don't know how I feel about it now, but there should be an oversight committee that participates in the process, doesn't have a say, but sits down in the process and holds the process accountable. And I don't see an issue with that, because right now they have an oversight committee with Donna Ponte leading it for coaches, the firing of coaches and minority hiring and all this kind of foolishness. So I mean, the question is, how do you get to a solution? And the sooner you get to a solution, his theory is getting to a solution is there needs to be a minority owner. There needs to be a minority owner. And my point to him was, and I do believe this, you're not gonna get somebody who has tripled their money in the 10 years that they've owned the Dolphins to say, okay, let me sell a good stake of my team to a minority just because it would be the right thing to do. Or the Denver Broncos, let's sell the Denver Broncos to a minority just because it would be the right thing to do. And
as long as it's not Kanye, but go ahead.
No, I think there is
did you see the AB story? Antonio Brown came out and said Kanye wants to buy the Broncos. That's why I said that. It's just
Kanye's a moron, and I love Kanye.
I know, but it just would be really funny.
Like, listen, there's I forget what his name is. He does a show. He owns the Weather Channel. I forget what his name is. He's a African American gentleman. He does a television show for sports. If you said the name, people in text would know the name. And Goodell has even been asked about that, and they're working with him towards helping him buy a team. And he wants to buy the Denver Broncos. And I mean, somebody has to hold the door open for them. And he has the money, he has the resources. I can't remember the name of he owns the Weather Channel. Just whoever knows who owns the Weather Channel. That's who.
Byron Allen?
Byron Allen. There you go.
Oh, okay. Byron Allen. Byron Allen has money to buy a team?
Yes, he does. Byron Allen is ridiculously wealthy.
Damn. I always watch his show late at night, that one with all the celebrity interviews.
Exactly. Yes.
I love that show. I've always loved that show. Byron Allen is cool. I didn't know he was that rich.
Yeah.
He has cash. I didn't know he was that rich. He owns the Weather Channel?
Yeah. People.
Damn. That's awesome.
People don't know how wealthy he is. Byron Allen and his cable net worth is $450 million. That's not super rich though. Hold on.
I'll tell you. Well, it's super rich to me, bro.
Yeah. Nah, yeah.
When you ain't got $500,000, you know what I'm saying? I got $500,000 if I throw in my house, you know.
You need to get your money up if you got $450 million. That's not the first black owner. Mogul could be the first black owner. And he's trying. That ain't enough money.
That's poor man's money. That's not even. You're not even going to be considered for an NFL team for that. You'll struggle to buy an MLS team if you're.
Wow.
I'm sorry, but it's like I think it's like $300-400 million now for an MLS team. So he can barely afford an.
I don't know. It's funny. Why did you just lose? Why did I just lose you? Do you hear me? I just lost you. I lost you. Hold on.
People. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, yeah. Well, $450 million is impressive for me, but not for those people. Okay, all right. We lost him. By the way, Mike Koo says B-Flow sounded like he was talking in a press conference when he gave the answer about two. I'll be honest, the lawsuit doesn't do him any favors for trying to have a real convo without PR fluff. I agree. And Tay says Flo ain't about to change if he wouldn't have an issue with Kenny Stills. It is what it is. But he would need a lot more money than $400 million. $400 million is impressive for you and me, but not in that game. He's going to need a lot more.
What'd you just read?
Oh, wait a minute. Did we lose him?
I'm back.
Am I connected? Are you guys hearing Omar? Because I don't hear Omar.
I can hear
Barely
you.
Hear him.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, you do hear me?
Yeah, I do hear you. Do you hear me?
How come we hear you in the background?
I don't know, bro. You want me to?
Yeah. All right. Yes. Everybody, yes. Okay. Can't hear you, Big O. That's what it is. So you guys are hearing Omar, but you're not hearing me. Or you hear both of us. Oh, we can hear both, they say. So how come I'm not hearing Omar anymore?
come back in.
Okay. What the hell, dude?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. What happened now?
Can you hear me now?
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Hold on. He's trying. Let's see what you got. Hold on.
Testing.
All right, because this is
1, 2,
weird
3.
now. I don't know why. All of a sudden, don't you love live radio? All this stuff happens. Flow, running sound. Yep, that's it. We hear you, Omar. Hear both. So yeah, the problem is I can barely hear Omar. It sounds like in the background. That's the thing.
You ask a question. I'll answer.
All right,
it.
so Omar, what I was saying is, I'm going to try to see if we can finish this off like this. What I was saying is that the 400 million is impressive for you and me, but you're going to need to be worth 12, 15 billion to buy a $3 billion team is my point.
Absolutely. I don't know. Is now eyeing an $8 billion deal to acquire. I'm looking up his different ventures and things of that nature. I don't know. I'm sure he's not the only rich, wealthy black millionaire out there.
Dude, Jay-Z has way more.
You're gone now. I can't hear you. Let's do this via phone, man. I can't hear you now. I have no idea what happened.
You don't. Wait a minute.
Okay, you're back.
Okay,
you're back.
All right, there we go. Yeah. We had a virus. It was called Flow, getting in the middle of all of this. So, what's it called? I think Dre made like $500 million just from the headset.
Yeah, and I'm sure his divorce. I mean, what are we doing? We getting all the black rappers together to buy an NFL team.
We gotta find some. You asked for some.
So only rappers have money. Only rappers have $1 billion. Is this what we're saying? I think they're wealthy. Like Oprah. Oprah got it. Oprah got it.
That's a really good one. I don't know if she's interested in owning a football team. Shoot, because Oprah's not going to keep her mouth shut.
How would you not be interested in owning a football team?
In fact,
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.